Digital Nomad Visa. Okay, requirements, when you need to apply, how you need to do it, all the details we want to see today. We have here a lawyer, an expert in this, Maximiliano Agazzi. Thank you very much for coming here. He belongs to Lexidy Legal Tech Boutique, and you are working here, and it's a company like it's in Madrid and Barcelona, right? And it's in other countries, but in Spain has these two headquarters in Madrid and Barcelona. And he's an expert, of course. He knows everything about this visa. This is why I bring for you. Thank you very much. And my voice is not very good today, but the most important is you. So you want to tell us all the details about this visa. Okay, so first of all, Digital Nomad Visa requirements. What I need, if I want to apply, what I need to do.
Of course. Thank you, Carolina. Well, in that case, to apply for the Digital Nomad Visa, it's very important that we define the scope. Who is a digital worker, right? A digital worker or a digital nomad in this case would be someone who can work from Spain for a foreign employer or a foreign company, because the Digital Nomad Visa covers employees, but also freelancers. So anyone who can work through exclusively electronic means can apply for the Digital Nomad Visa. Electronic means such as a laptop, a phone, or similar. But it must allow the worker to work remotely. Other requirements. You have to show contracts with companies that have existed for at least 1 year. And I say company or companies because if you're an employee, typically you depend on one company. If you're a freelancer or an independent professional, you can depend on more than one companies. But you have to prove that you have been with them for at least 3 months. So the company has had existence of at least 1 year and you have been with them for at least 3 months. Moreover, you have to prove, it has to be inferred that your work can be done remotely. This is a very important one. And you need the consent of the companies or company for you to move. Besides that, you need a salary for one applicant of at least 2,000 euros per month. And you need either a university degree or 3 years of provable experience, but it has to be considered a position of high qualification, if I'm making sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So this would be the general requirements.
Nice. So people that freelance that they don't have high qualification cannot apply. Maybe it's a regular job.
That is the thing. High qualification. That is the thing. Yes, high qualification is a broad term. And for example, we now have a residence permit for highly qualified professionals. But for example, it is possible that when you say high qualification, you mean a technical position or a position that entails, yes, a certain degree of technical knowledge. And of course, regardless of the expertise that you need, it's possible that, for example, I'm making it up, but it's possible that a yoga teacher would not be able, a remote yoga teacher would not be able to apply for the Digital Nomad Visa. Why? Because according to the law, you need contracts with companies. And normally a yoga teacher would have individual clients. So having freelancers, having them show contract with companies exclusively, it's a way to maybe eliminate these workers that maybe work directly with clients, with physical persons, and typically cannot be considered, at least for the purpose of this permit, as highly qualified. Which, of course, it doesn't mean that they're not highly qualified with their own profession, but we're talking about the law, of course.
Yeah, so we are thinking about tech, basically. For example, I'm a teacher. I have private clients. They pay me. Maybe if I work foreigner, I cannot come.
Correct. Unlikely because you need contract with companies as per the law. So as of now, of course, a lot of experience has to be obtained because the permit is in its initial stages. So we will be defining it. But the law says very clearly contract with companies. And this serves as a way to make sure that most of the professions that come are tech or similar. Yes.
Okay. So at least we know exactly the thing. Mm-hmm. So, and then how much costs the process and times? Because it's already approved, but there is little things, technical things they are checking right now, right?
That is a good question. Technically speaking, the day after the law is published, the permit is in force. Having said that, we need the administrative criteria to be more defined, and we need the government channels as of today to be enabled. So of course, while technically one can apply, you would not have the option if you were to go to the government platform to do so. And the administration has set itself a goal. Before March 31st, they said that they would have their internal criteria defined. Most likely, we will have them by then, or at the very least, in the meantime, from now until March, maybe 1 month, 2 months, we should have more information, because now we have an FAQ, an official one. We have an official list of documents. So most likely, they're going to be enabling the option very soon. Also because, of course, they are also going to be learning. Like we will apply and we will submit the documents that we deem convenient. And with those applications, they will decide the documents that work best for them and those that don't. So this will also help them in a way, right? So when I say that there's a gray area, the permit is in force, but some matters need to be defined. Having said that, my recommendation would be that you can get started now with the document gathering, because either way, you would be able to apply very soon.
Exactly. How much cost? How can you think will cost? It's just one person can apply by themselves, or you suggest a lawyer for do it?
You can definitely apply by yourself if you have a digital certificate, because in the end it's an online application, unless you apply before the consulate of your place of residence, because it's a visa that can be requested from Spain, in which case it's a residence permit for 3 years if you're legally in Spain, even as a tourist. But then you need a digital certificate, which is a very personal electronic signature, or from the consulate, in which case you simply need to show up and get the appointment, in which case you get a 1-year visa that then from Spain will be able to be converted into the 3-year residence permit. So everything takes you to the residence permit, right? Then the government fee from Spain is always the same. It's 73.26 euros. Having said that, the consular fees may be different, and that can vary a lot. As a general rule, they are the equivalent to 60 euros. They can be more if the consulate deems it convenient. The UK, for example, is a big exception, because due to post-Brexit disagreements, the fees are in the thousands of pounds sometimes. I'm talking 1,500, 2,000 pounds. Exception. And in any way, holder of a UK passport can enter Spain and apply from Spain, so they can skip the fees if they want to, right? But these would be the costs, the government costs at least. If you were to hire a lawyer, fees in Spain are free, meaning you establish them freely with your lawyer. Having said that, market price, I would say between 1,200 and 12,000 euros for, the expertise, the assessment. Keep in mind that lawyers, of course, look at the law and look at the requirements and more or less can imagine already the documents that will be needed, right? They know how to apply, they know how to deal with the administration. So, of course, you can apply on your own in summation, but lawyer's assistance is, of course, most recommended.
Mm-hmm. Obviously. Yeah. Okay. In another countries is working right now, right? How is there? Do you think it's working very well? A lot of people are applying.
Well, the feedback we get from our colleagues in the other offices, because, for example, in Greece and Portugal, it's working very well. I believe that the Greek one, and this is not my expertise, I only deal with Spain, but I believe that the Greek one is the more recent one. Portugal has been processing them for a while also, but they're working very, very well, at least in the sense that many people are applying. In the end, of course, you're talking about digital nomads, meaning normally people that have high salaries, they can come here where those salaries, stretch a lot, and you get all the advantages, right? Typically before, you got a lot of people who came here and they were renouncing maybe high salaries because the weather and the ambience is so great. Now they get best of both worlds, right? They maintain their amazing salary, the foreign one, but they get the climate and the people, and so yeah.
Exactly, this is the point. And how long could you have that visa?
So the residence permit that you get from Spain is a 3-year one.
Mm-hmm.
Then by law, it can be renewed for 2 years more. And then after 5 years, you can apply for permanent residence, actually. Having said that, technically speaking, you could extend the digital nomad visa for periods of 2 years as long as you wanted. If you don't want to apply for permanent, or if you don't comply with the requirements, technically speaking, you could extend indefinitely.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Okay. And where's the pros and cons with relating with another visas that they are? Do you think that this is the easy way to come to in Spain?
It's a good question, and maybe it's the easier way, because I guess we have to make a distinction, because up until now, if you had work permits, especially for employees, it either meant that the company wanted you in Spain, and maybe they opened a subsidiary, a branch, and they employed you in Spain, or maybe they transferred you, in which case you remained an employee of the foreign company just working from Spain. The digital nomad is a different character. Basically, the digital nomad is not the initiative of the company. It means you're an employee and you tell the company, I would like to work from Spain. And the company says, okay, we don't care. Please go to Spain. That's fine. So it's not the interest of the company. It's the interest of the worker, and the company allows them to. The other permits instead have the interest of the company normally in the middle, right? Even if the company didn't want to incorporate, they could use an EOR. That means they have a service in Spain that employs the worker, but you still need an employed worker in Spain. The digital nomad is a completely different thing. It means that the worker wants to move to Spain and that the company doesn't care, and be my guest.
Yeah. So there are good news, right? Spain is coming to receive more and more employees, I think. I'm pretty sure will come.
Absolutely. Basically, it's good news because up until now, this specific type of people that could work remotely did not have a visa for them. The closest thing we had was the non-lucrative. And years ago, it was way easier to obtain a non-lucrative permit, which allows you to reside in Spain without the permit to work in Spain if you were employed remotely. Sometimes consulates even said, yes, show me the work contract. And with that, I know this we have seen personally. Having said that, it was a gray area. No one could agree on whether the non-lucrative allowed to work remotely or the extent of that. Technically speaking, they did not, but you see such a discrepancy with the administration. So first of all, this permit is great news, not only because a huge chunk of people will be allowed to have their visa specifically tailored to their situation in Spain, but also because we are keeping Spain competitive, of course, because otherwise, other countries of Europe would become the target of all these. Of course, you're getting hundreds and thousands of people who will be coming here with their, huge salaries, will be paying taxes and contributions and so on. So we're keeping Spain competitive. And two, I guess the world is changing. The world is borderless now. People are working from anywhere, and it would be silly not to offer that option, right?
Mm-hmm. Is there a limit of visas or anyone can apply?
That is a good question. And maybe at some point, it's a completely free decision from the administration, and they could establish an internal yearly quota. That's for sure. They could do it. Up until now, no news of that, and it has never happened on our end that they have denied a visa for that reason. So as of now, there are no talks of that.
Okay. So, well, thank you very much. I think with this, anything else you think people need to know? Anything you want to add?
Well, in that case, maybe what I would say, one can start gathering the documents now and apply now. Having said that, in only a couple of months, we are going to have everything ready. So maybe do the research, maybe talk to a lawyer, but it's very advantageous. Oh, maybe this is not my expertise, but of course, maybe some digital nomads are worried that they're going to be heavily taxed in Spain, because of course, if they come with a high salary, they will be taxed up to 50% or similar. Not the case with the digital nomad, because the startup law establishes a very beneficial tax regime. Maybe, again, this is not my expertise, so I don't want to say anything correct. I mean, I could answer very confidently the immigration questions. With regards to that, we can look further, but basically, digital nomads, similar to the Beckham law, you want to give an incentive for people to come here, but also you don't want to tax them very highly. So they're going to be offered this specific tax regime. My tax colleagues say that they don't know the process yet, but they know that the advantages will be there. So, and I don't want to say anything incorrect, so let's contrast that, but they could be taxed around the 24% or similar, as opposed to the usual 46, 47, which is a great advantage. So maybe that's something we could say. So for a digital nomad that is worried about high taxes, they have also their advantages.
Totally, yeah, this is the main thing, no? Because other countries has less taxes, so this is a good news. Okay, thank you very much. Well, I hope everyone come to Spain, amazing Spain. Which one do you like more, Barcelona or Madrid?
Good question. Well, both are tech hubs, so if I have to advise any foreigner, I guess maybe Barcelona is the more European one. I mean, I live in Barcelona, so maybe I'm biased. Also, we have the sea. And me personally, it depends. It depends. I would only live in Barcelona, but Madrid has a special type of flavor. Maybe in Madrid you get more of the Spanish after work culture, because the terraces are full
Well,
every day.
I choose Valencia. I'm from Valencia.
Oh, that's also good. That's also good.
It's very nice there, and also the south of Spain. So Spain is amazing. You can be in any place of the country, right? There's no requirement to be in one specific city.
There's no requirement, and maybe we can add something here. The startup law that establishes the Digital Nomad Visa makes some emphasis in people establishing companies and startups in the, well, the emptied Spain, La España vaciada, because maybe the viewers are not aware of that. But of course, in Spain, you have Barcelona and Madrid, you have the coast, but then the part of the middle, very rural, very few people. So of course, one advice for digital nomads, since they can live anywhere, they can choose one of the amazing countryside places in which their salary will stretch even more. And also they could contribute to the redevelopment of these areas. So that's also an option.
Yeah. And also it's very close everything. Compared if you are in USA, it's 1 hour traveling.
Exactly.
Here is nothing. So
very well connected.
It's a small country, no, compared with America. Okay. Well, thank you very much for having you. And again, if you need a lawyer, you have here. I want to send all the links, all the information about him. He knows a lot. So I think it's worth, to have a lawyer to get sure that you will have that visa. Thank you again. And exactly. So we see you again in another time when we need more. Okay.
Thank you, Carolina. It was my pleasure.
Ciao, ciao. Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye.